It is 7 o'clock, the time that we're scheduled to begin this teacher negotiation meeting between the DEA and the Dickinson School Board. Item number 2 is to review and approve the minutes of September 10th, 2015. Do either of the parties have any corrections or additions?
School board is fine with the minutes.
Okay.
Fine. We're fine.
Okay, both parties have indicated that the minutes are fine as presented. Okay, that concludes item number 2. And the next item on the agenda would be item number 3, discuss topics of negotiations.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Hanson?
Well, as you know, the school board did meet last week, and I wasn't able to be there. I was out of town, so Chris took your guys' concerns back to the school board. But I just want to start out and say I've been really happy with negotiations, how they've gone to this point. I actually enjoyed them. I mean, I've never been a teacher, so I got to sit on your side, put myself in your shoes. I mean, it does look different than what my viewpoint would be. So, I mean, everything's gone great until we get to one spot. And we have one disagreement. In the last meeting, I said I'd be happy to take back your concerns to the school board. So, I hope you can understand my sincere disappointment on watching the news on Thursday night and see all of a sudden we're going to court over this if we don't get our way and yada yada yada. And they didn't even give me a chance to go to the school board, and the school board didn't have a chance to hear your concerns. And up to this point, I thought it had gone very well. I mean, we were being collaborative, and all of a sudden the rails come off the road. That's not being collaborative. I mean, going forward next year, if we're going to be collaborative, I mean, how do you expect us to be collaborative if we're going to come to one bump in the road and we're going to be listening to we're going to court if we don't get our way? I've been really pleased so far how this has gone. So I'm just hoping we can move on from this and let's get back to being collaborative and just work this out as professionals.
And in rebuttal to that, the question that wasn't placed on there to the answer of going to court was, the reporter asked what's worst case scenario if negotiations would come to a stalemate. And I had explained worst case scenario would be impasse. And then she asked about the court case, and I explained that, and they used the bits and pieces the way they did.
If I remember how you said
so
it,
it was,
said, we are ready to go to court over this. But if we can, let's just move on from this. Let's be collaborative. Maybe we can get this finished and everybody can go home happy.
Anything else?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right, so as Mr. Hanson said, I did take this to the school board. As you know, we met in executive session. You might be surprised to know that school board members understood your concerns, and as Jason said, they could put themselves in your place, and we're trying to work this out and trying to understand. So in the interest of being collaborative and in the interest of settling negotiations, the school board decided and directed us that we can live with the 60 days and then we can live with the definition as I have put it together here, which is pretty much the same as what you've asked for. So I'm going to go ahead and just hand this out, and we've got a couple things highlighted in here if you want to take a look at those. Mostly it's a definition. We still highlighted the excluding legal school holidays, which I think we agreed on. And then we really do like the very last point that Mr. Fay added, which was the timelines may be extended by mutual agreement of both parties. We still feel like that was It's important to have in there. It helps our collaboration. And we felt that it worked out pretty well last time, just to be able to express the concerns to Mr. Smith and be given a little extra time, which the school board actually ultimately didn't need, but it was nice to be able to have that. So with that, I'll just leave it.
I think it, go ahead, Jim.
I say I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate what you've done. And I, like I said with the last meeting, I can sell this.
This is, and we did reschedule our DEA meeting that was supposed to be Monday the 21st to next week Tuesday in anticipation of being able to present a negotiated agreement, you know, so we wouldn't have to call a special meeting. So we did postpone that, hoping things would go good today, and I do appreciate this. It does look good. I'm very pleased. Thank you.
Okay, so the school board has submitted its proposal to the DEA. The DEA has said that it looks acceptable. If I could just request, Mr. Wool, that you sign on the bottom of one. Ms. Ferris, you sign on the bottom of one and date it so that we have a tentative agreement on that topic. Okay, that takes us to outside the workday compensation, just for information of the audience and for clarification of the parties. The school board does have some language. This is the identical language that was distributed to everybody through an email after the last negotiations on September 10th. And so the parties have had an opportunity to review this prior to the meeting. And just for clarification of everybody, there were no comments received in the Central Administration Office from either party regarding the memorandum of understanding.
We do have some things that,
Hold on, just
you want to read this one?
first. There. Okay, yeah, all right, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to let the negotiators know that this was also reviewed by the full school board at that special meeting, and the full school board gave us direction to go ahead and, you know, continue to present it. Even though you had already seen it, we wanted the full board to have a look at it.
Well, after, you know, passing this around and getting feedback, and some of that feedback came as late as last night, but one of the biggest concerns in the first paragraph is that the activities less than 120 minutes in duration, the personal leave will be prorated. And I don't know how we can go against our contract language and change the amount of time that blocks are taken for emergency leave. And I have a feeling that would be a bookkeeping nightmare for our staff. Or personal leave, yeah, sorry. But the leave is all in 20-minute or 120-minute or 2-hour blocks, and that's the way it's worded in our contract. The other thing that was really an issue is that staff preparation for these events is considered to be outside the contract time. Because when we visited with these teachers, they were asked to do that prep work after hours, a lot of them. Some of them did it in building, some did it out. And so if they're doing the work out of contract time, how can we not reimburse them for that? The other thing was, we understand that, you know, it's written in there, it's understood Title I activities, that whole paragraph is, but that kind of muddies the whole thing up.
Well, it goes away from, I believe, and that you know, is one I brought up a little bit, because the comment was made that let's fix the problem, which the problem is the curriculum night. And when we fix the problem with the curriculum night, then we throw in the language that we were debating about for the negotiated agreement, which no longer deals with curriculum night anymore.
Right. And then the last paragraph, the only thing was, we would like to see an addition to the end of it where it says, this memorandum of understanding cannot nor will not bind further boards or committees to dissolve or withdraw for reasons deemed as the best interest of the Dickinson Public Schools. And we would like to see or the Dickinson Education Association in there. I mean, it just kind of clarifies for both sides.
Do you have a comment, or do you want, I have a couple things I might be able to add.
I do have a couple of comments that I would like to make. First off, this has been out for some time, and this is the first time we've heard those comments back. So I kind of thought you would bring that back before the day that we think we're going to try to settle the contract. So that's a concern to me. I'll address the things that I can address in here. That the prorating, if it's all right, I'm just going to if it's okay, we'll have the assistant superintendent address that, because we had that same question on the board. So I want to, and he addressed that to the school board. But now the staff preparation, each of the principals told us that time was provided during the contracted time for preparation for that curriculum night. And we specifically asked them several times, are you sure about that? We've also been assured by the administration, by Superintendent Sullivan, that should something occur, the time for preparation will be provided during the contracted time. So that is why we were going to leave it as stated there, because that does remind all of us that that time is to be provided during the contracted day.
Okay.
And now maybe you want to give your comments.
I'm going to kind of, if it's all right, go in reverse order.
Yep.
The last sentence on the memorandum of understanding is identical to the sentence that was on the first memorandum of understanding regarding summer school. But having said that, my recommendation to the board is I don't see a problem with adding the DEA to that sentence.
And Mr. Chairman, that was one of my suggestions, and I was absent from that meeting. So I wasn't here to bring that up at that one, but, so thank you. I mean,
I don't see a problem with adding the DEA to that last sentence. And the assistant superintendent and I have discussed accumulation of personal leave in less than 2-hour increments.
okay.
And he has assured me that it will not be a bookkeeping headache. That you are correct, Mr. Wohl, that the personal leave can be utilized and has to be utilized in 2-hour increments, but accruing it in less than 2-hour increments will not be a problem for the personnel clerk. So,
I guess my concern with that then is at the end of the year, when we can have the choice of what to do with our remaining hours, will you pay 1 hour of personal leave? So I mean, because then they basically become an hourly employee again, which at the end of the
Personally,
year.
it is paid back at substitute rate if
Yeah.
you don't, most people don't use it that way, but.
Right.
But it could be.
It could be, and that kind of, you know, if you don't have that hour, it kind of sits out there because you can't
Or-
use it until you get a second hour.
Or it could be if 2 years in a row curriculum night, 90 plus 90 is 180, then, I mean, you could accumulate, I mean, it could be used in 120-minute blocks too. We didn't want to limit it, but we had to follow the agreement on the quarter day and.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. And how about cleaning up that second paragraph with just getting that out of there so that we're not muddying it up? Is that something? So we're just addressing the curriculum night, that's our problem, let's fix it, let's be done with it.
if I might interject again, because that was discussed between myself and the school board negotiators, and they asked the administration to draw up a sentence that clarified the conversation, and the comments were made by the DEA about, we understand that certain activities are necessary. And that's why the board requested for that sentence to be incorporated into the memorandum of understanding.
I just think that takes it beyond the curriculum night, which was dictated that, let's deal with curriculum night because that was the problem. Over and over again there was asked, so curriculum night's a problem, let's fix curriculum night. And then we're throwing that in there. And I agree. I started this by putting this statement in my negotiated agreement contract language.
And I think it might just help because there's been a lot of things thrown out back and forth. I mean, I just think it helps clarify exactly where everybody stands on it for now. So I don't think there's anything bad with that statement. I mean,
It is
what
understood,
is.
and it's what you said, and then it helps the board understand.
And the other question that was asked to me, and this was actually a text I got last night, is what's the duration of the memorandum of understanding? Because we don't talk about that ever. And we don't have that on here. Is it one contract year? Is it until we revisit it? And I said, well, you know what? I honestly can't answer that.
Well, aren't those usually brought up as when we start negotiations each time if there is an issue? Are those brought up or not?
Not necessarily.
No?
And the administrative viewpoint would be that unless this document is altered or renegotiated, that it would stay in force.
Okay. Well, that was,
So there's a chance to bring it up at negotiations.
Well,
Anything can be
anything
brought
can
up.
be brought up, yeah.
That's what I thought, so.
Yeah.
It would be,
So you think-
so it's in play until
It's in play till someone brings it up and wants to discuss it again.
I'm okay with that.
well, I think if we make the addition of the DEA at the end, I think we're all right there
I'm
then.
okay with
And
that.
All right.
you just want us to pencil it in there, or?
No, if we can take a recess,
Yep.
I'll have Mrs. Peterson go draft up a
Okay.
new document. And
The amazing Twyla will be
Okay,
back
thank
in seconds.
Here it is.
She's done already, she just hit print. Sure, Jim.
Who has this? Because then rather than just
Yep. Oh, righty, okay.
this almost having a connection to the
Right.
I'll just send it electronically. Then they can disperse it.
You want to do that before you just issue contracts? Just so
Well, we'll have
okay, that's a process. Okay,
Right.
so we'll do it that way.
Yeah, because Tuesday night we'll have a meeting and present.
I'll get this electronically.
Yep.
Cut and pasted directly, so it's good.
Right.
And I'll email it to the whole team. so
Will you leave any of the changes highlighted then?
No.
Will you in one copy for me? Can you do that so that I have them?
You know, I don't know if I have one that had all of the
Okay.
yellows, Brian, because we did that first set of
Right.
language cleanup, you know, with the years and.
Oh, that, yeah, no one
There was
should
one
really care about
that was
that.
in.
I'll just have to go back through and highlight then, because it just makes it easy for me when I'm presenting. I know, I should have asked you that at the beginning to keep me one that way, because I know sometimes in the past we've,
Well, and originally Doc had them in yellow, but changed them for this real time.
No, that part people, that first part people shouldn't care about, it's just,
no, but there are people that ask questions, what language was cleaned up, you know, just for clarification. I mean, there's always questions
this
and,
stuff would probably be of more interest, I
right.
would think.
And I have that one in yellow and the other ones.
They can't imagine how angry our kids are, so they probably play tonight, you guys play tonight.
Be nice if everyone had.
Last week was the most people I've ever actually seen.
Well, actually, that is good, if the team gets it, you make sure, and if there's
We can read
anything,
through it,
get it back to Vince right away, so that we can review it and see.
I was running the
If
play
there's
clock all
something
night.
that just got missed, because we've done that before, we've
Yeah.
sent it and then something just gets missed and then you're stuck
Yeah.
with it for a year or two.
Yeah, so if we can look through it and then we can just do a email to the entire district so everybody's got it, and then we'll have our original copies to the team first, yes.
Well, I was just kidding. I just want to send it.
Well, no, I mean, there were times where
We'll just,
Come back to order, please.
they don't care, they've seen it.
Okay, so Ms. Peterson has made the requested revision to the last sentence if the parties could sign and date on their respective locations.
Okay.
Date on it.
If I got my data.
Please date it.
The date's on there.
Was it?
Yep, date's on there.
Okay. I didn't have a copy.
Oh.
Yeah, I dated mine.
you want to take a sign of the week now?
What's that?
You want to take a sign of the week? So.
Okay, so the memorandum of understanding has been signed by the parties regarding outside the workday compensation. Is there anything under other from either of the parties?
Mr. Chairman, I
Ms.
just,
Fair?
excuse me, do you want Mr. Reed just to walk through the payroll again, so you're aware of the time frame for your meeting?
We will do that in just a moment.
All
That's a
right.
good idea.
Thank you.
We'll do that kind of under debrief
Okay.
here.
Mr. Chairman, the other thing was we were kind of discussing here, and Mr. Reap is going to get a copy of the negotiated agreement together and email it to the team so we can look it over before it's distributed, so the team knows.
You guys just stole all my thunder.
Well, I had to today.
Okay. You can say it again.
Well, under debrief, the parties have conducted multiple negotiation sessions. The revisions to the negotiated agreement include the grievance language, personal leave accumulation, and the salary schedule. Additionally, 2 memorandums of understanding have been signed, one regarding summer school and the other on outside the workday compensation. And there were some items that were removed from discussion. I don't have a list of those. Now, with respect to Ms. Fair's question, I will ask the Assistant Superintendent to discuss the payroll process, but just for the audience, in case everybody did not hear, the revised negotiated agreement will be distributed to the parties today. We did have that discussion this morning, and in the event that parties were able to settle today, the Assistant Superintendent said he could get that out.
And we, as a DEA, have a meeting planned for Tuesday of next
Yep.
week, so we will, that will be the #1 topic on our agenda.
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Chair?
Could I just ask that the teams, if you notice anything wrong or something, you get that back to Mr. Reap like today or tomorrow, so that he can get it corrected and get the correct copy to you,
Yep.
so that we
Yes.
don't distribute the wrong information.
Yep.
Okay.
In terms of the payroll timeline, if the DEA is meeting on, September 29th, and as I understand the process, then they have a week before they can vote.
Yep.
So that ratification would happen on October 6th. If the board can have a special board meeting the following day, October 7th, we could possibly issue contracts sometime between the 8th and the 12th. And so contracts would be due, either the 22nd would be the earliest, or depending on when the board ratifies it. But it would certainly miss the October payroll, and so then the payroll department would work on back pay once all of the contracts are in.
Yeah,
And
you have that
the November
timeframe.
payroll would be corrected.
So, right, so if we say here, then they have 14 days. So that misses the payroll time. Yeah, so misses
Okay,
the
thank you,
time.
Mr. Reed.
Yeah.
Am I on here, Twyla? Okay. And just one last comment that I'd like to make as the chair. It's important, I think, for everybody in the room to remember there was a legislative change this year, and these contracts need to be returned within 14 days, where previously it was 30 days. And so it's very important for the DEA to make sure that's communicated to the teachers so that we don't have any misunderstandings and somebody miss a deadline. Okay? So having said that, I thank you all
Mr.
for your
Chair,
time.
one
Mr.
last thing
Mr.
on
Fay?
my behalf. Mrs. Fair, Mr. Hanson, thank you. It has been a much more pleasurable experience this time than it has the last. And I think that the decision for Dr. Sullivan, thank you, as the chairperson, opened up both sides to be a little bit more focused on what we need to do rather than running meetings. So thank you as well.
Thank you, Mr. Fay.
Thank you.
Okay, having said that, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. All right.
So Vince, if they return them the day that they're issued though, would their corrected pay be on this check, or would it still be November and you just wait and put them all in for November? Because I know last time...
We'll do a separate payroll.
Okay. Because, last time we had some people that had them, turned them in before and got that payroll, and then there was people that didn't, and they were over to the next payroll and they had questions. And
We cannot do back pay until they have returned.
Right.
So,
But that's what I'm saying, if we tell them that if they get it in the day it's issued, would it be the corrected payroll for October and the back pay would come in November? Because that's kind of the way it worked last time. No, because there was people that had one check had it, and then there was other people that, because the deadline was over payroll again like that.
we did a separate payroll for back pay, and we had the majority of them, but we could not do back pay until they signed their agreement. So what we'll do is when they come in, we're not going to do 28 payrolls as they come in. We'll pick a time, probably on the deadline that they're due.
Okay.
Let's say it's 27. Then we'll do all of the back pay.
Okay.
And then November will be just everything.
Okay.
But if somebody, we'll have to wait till the deadline of the contract.
Right.
So that if there's 3 left,
Right. Well, yeah, I understand.
yeah. We could do it earlier if
everybody gets them in.
268 are hit prior to the deadline.
Well, and that's just something good for me to tell them.
Yep.
That if they get them in sooner, they'll get that back pay sooner.
And make sure that they realize, last year we had contracts that were put inside a box of candies. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
They just emphasize.
Yeah. Oh, I will.
Sign them and get them in.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. I don't want to leave you out of the circle.